Hello and welcome to the lobby, GameSpot's weekly hangout every Tuesday, 2 p.m. Pacific, right here on GameSpot.com. Mary, you did a lot of work fixing this camera. Only for us to be on this camera. There you go. This is the biggest camera in the world. Look at this thing. Is the crane going to start like dropping crap on my head again this week? It's so beautiful.
It's far away now.
It's sunny this week. Alexa Ray Correa.
It is sunny out, and
Mike
we're
Mahardy.
inside.
Isn't it sunny?
Freezing though.
Peter Brown.
Hello.
How sunny is it today?
Oh God.
It's beautiful. This is what winter looks like on the best coast.
Let's be honest. It's still like a chill 45 degrees out there.
Oh, is it?
50 degrees.
Yeah,
Something
it's
like
pretty
that.
cold.
Brisk.
Oh,
My goodness.
my nipples are hard.
But you know what's not cold?
Oh no. It started.
Hot video game news.
Oh.
We didn't have in the running order because it kind of broke earlier on. But can we have a quick chin wag about what's going on with
My chin is primed and ready to go.
Mr. Kojima? So I went into a podcast a couple of hours ago. I just ran up here. I saw it breaking on Twitter though that apparently he has signed with Sony. Is that right?
Yeah, according to Nikkei, like one of the biggest reporting outlets in Japan, he's not really signed with Sony. What he has done is essentially, according to the report, made efforts to start his own studio and is in talks with Sony to publish a game that will come to PlayStation platforms first.
Okay.
So Vita confirmed.
Okay.
Vita confirmed.
Yeah, eventually. Vita
Yeah.
and then Morpheus.
Yes,
And then did they have some sort of phone?
they did.
They used to have that. What was that? It was
The
Sony Ericsson.
The
piece of
PSP
high
phone?
storage.
The Xperia.
Was that what do you call it?
There was the PSP phone.
Oh, there was the PSP Go. Is that what it was?
I think, yeah, the phone.
So many.
No.
There's so
Whatever.
many great Sony products. We just don't have enough time to cover them all
Yeah.
on the show this week. We'll have to get that to the next time. What I want to talk to you guys about is the worst games that came out in 2016.
Oh boy.
But I'm still waiting for my laptop to connect to the Wi-Fi up here.
Let's keep talking about Kojima.
So let's keep talking about Hideo
Okay.
Kojima.
Yeah.
So this report, like how we were waiting for this, right? Because December was when people were saying his non-compete was going to
That
finish
was
up,
rumor.
and then that's when we'll hear trickles come out from somewhere. Does this seem credible?
I mean, Nikkei hasn't really swung us wrong in the past, so I'm kind of willing to go with it. What I'm really interested to see is how much of a coup he starts when he leaves,
Right.
Or when he's gone. Like, are people going to leave with him, or is he out on his own? Like, I think at least that's what I'm the most interested in. But if Nikkei reports it, I'd say, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm personally of the opinion that people like to follow great leaders, and Kojima is known to be a great leader, like among his staff. And beyond that, any great games that come out of him are not just a product of his own hand, right? It is a product of a team that works well together, and they have over many years. And I think it would be silly of him to move on without them. I don't think he would, and I think they would be naive to not leave Konami because it's the safety of a big corporation, because that place does not care about its employees, apparently.
I mean, especially creative people, right? Like creative people want to make good things, and they want to be able to be led by somebody who has good creative leadership. And the worst thing they hate is bureaucracy in companies which force them to not be creative.
Yeah.
And that very much seems like what's happening at Konami right now, right?
Yeah, Konami is, look, they're saying, look, we're going to double down on pachinko, we're going to double down on mobile. We're still making console games, but they also said Kojima was just on vacation the day after he celebrated his departure from the company.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not convinced that they even have the talent to get back into the console space at this point beyond making more PES games. But
Hey, man.
no, PES is fine. But what I'm
It's
saying,
fine.
Don't talk. I'm
fine.
European representative on the set here. Don't talk to me about no PES game apathy.
This year's was good, right?
Yeah.
It was fun.
Right?
Rob Crossy loved it a whole bunch.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Pretty good, yeah. 9 out of 10 on GameSpot.com. One of the best reviewed games on GameSpot.com, you could say, which is the antithesis of what we're going to talk about once this Google Drive thing loads up. Here we go. Oh, fuck it.
I could talk about bad games. You want to talk about bad games? I reviewed
right.
a lot of them.
Let's get me. Yeah, Mary's running to get a laptop. Okay.
You want my phone? I got the list on my phone.
You got a list on your phone?
Yeah, it's
give me your
weird.
phone.
This new thing called a smartphone.
You got any apps on that? This year was really bad for smartphones.
I have Peggle and Angry
Really?
Birds.
What makes you say that?
I mean, we can't get into specifics because of Game of the Year, and I don't think we've talked about that yet. But there wasn't that many. Foil Shelter. Is that a game? Does that work? All right, I got it right here.
That's
I got it right
that's a
here.
killer
Good, I got
app.
it. Got it right here. This is awesome. All right,
Compelling content, folks.
here we go. 2015. 2015. 2015. Great year for video games. But there were some bad video games. Peter Brown, reviews editor of GameSpot.com. You took over the reins from Mr. Van Ord earlier this year. Turns out there was a lot of bad games came out, and which my favorite part of this is actually that you reviewed quite a lot of them.
Yeah, I think 3
Yeah,
on that list.
real stinkers. So
Jesus.
I have a list here of all games that got under 5 out of 10, so 4 and below on GameSpot.com. I can't even talk about all of them because there are so many of them. But let's rattle through a few. First of all, a wonderful 3 out of 10 here. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. Peter Brown, you reviewed that game. Why was that game not better?
There were moments when I was playing Tony Hawk 5 where I felt like it like captured the essence of the old games, but gaming has moved on, and rather than like change with the times and take lessons learned from years of development after the fact, they sort of just like cobbled together some weird features and put it on top of this really, really bare Tony Hawk experience, and they didn't do it in a clean way. There are a lot of glitches. It was broken, it wasn't challenging in the right ways, and it just wasn't fun. Like after 5 minutes, I was done with it. They didn't give me a reason to actually care. And like, you know what? At this point, like Tony Hawk is kind of old news. Like we've played this style of game many times over. Tony Hawk HD is still a thing, and better than this game.
I mean, a good Tony Hawk game would probably have been pretty cool to play.
It would have been great. Tony Hawk HD is a good Tony Hawk game.
And this one sort of it seems like it's kind of good every now and again. Like it gives you shades of what you remember, but then it instantly sort of gives you
Look at how, do you see how the screen is shaking when he's grinding? Like, that is a logical decision somebody made.
Look, oh yeah,
What
and also
is this?
you spend half the like that first time that came up, I was like, oh, that's like a novel little level, and then it comes up like in 4 different levels under like slightly different.
Every
premises.
stage you go to has the same challenges. It's just cookie cutter crap.
What a shame.
Every time I glanced over at your TV, it looked really fun, but I think I was just glancing over, as you do, very briefly.
And the grind stomp thing is like one of the worst control decisions I've seen in recent years.
Yeah, I got rid of any ability to like buffer a thing and actually like make a clean combo.
Isn't there a mode where your head
Another game you
explodes?
reviewed around that time as well, I think. 4 out of 10, Chibi Robo Ziplash.
Yeah.
What a goddamn, I don't even know what the hell this is. What is this?
So you play this little robot that sort of has like an extension cord used as a grappling hook.
Okay.
And so you get through these levels. It's just like a side-scrolling 2D platformer. But the game isn't challenging. It's very easy, which isn't necessarily that bad. But the biggest problem I had with the game is that your sole motivation is to go out and collect like actual real-world candy.
Okay.
And bring it back to people, and they're like, boy, I sure do love Starburst with the 5 flavors that really tickle my tongue. Dude,
Really?
Yes, this
Wow.
game is filled with commercials, and
right.
it is like, okay, the gameplay is solid, it's not great, it's not challenging, but that part was just stupid. Just
Fun.
filthy.
Filthy.
Another game that came out relatively recently, 4 out of 10, WWE 2K16. Have any of y'all played that this year's version? No?
Several minutes at a friend's house.
Okay, how fun was that?
I'm not too well versed in wrestling games in general since like the Nintendo 64, but
Okay, so
it
you're not a scholar of the WWE universe?
No, it didn't. I've only recently started watching wrestling, sort of, but the game
It's
itself.
a real bad time to be watching wrestling.
Oh,
right now.
that's what I hear,
Yeah,
but I
Raw's
figure you
in
can
a
only go
real-
uphill from here. Or down.
Everyone's injured right now.
But the game itself doesn't really feel great. I never knew what I was doing, even when I tried learning several of the moves and the controls. I know a lot of people, I think our review was complaining about, it's kind of arbitrary how close you need to be someone, how you actually like start these moves, and it felt pretty
Look at
bad
that
to me.
sandcastle, though. That was pretty cool.
Jesus.
Just walking through a mini beach.
Biggest
Ric Flair.
roster they've had in the game ever.
I know a few of these
and
people.
A pretty low score, sadly. 4 out of 10 on GameSpot.com. A game that got lower than that, though, came out, I feel, was it in Europe first? Devil's Third? It's only come out recently, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't
we
do
just
that.
got
That was
it.
a UK reviewer who
Yes.
handled that. Sean Bell, I believe.
Sean Bell, 3 out of 10. I hear that game is a real piece of hot garbage.
Yeah, it's kind of a tragic story too, because apparently Itagaki has been trying to make this game forever, and it's changed hands multiple times in terms of publishers and ownership, and with that comes different demands, and I mean, who knows where the blame actually lies, but yeah, this game did not pan out.
Jesus.
Here we have Ivan, right?
Sick
Yeah.
tattoos.
Ivan.
Yeah, the most
The Japanese
original character. I mean, what the hell?
Whoa.
Like, what the
Whoa.
hell are we looking at here? Like a bald
This is a
dude?
Wii U game.
Like, what imagination went into crafting that character? That's what I want to know.
Somebody saw Prison Break.
Also, it's a Wii U game. I feel like at the end of its life cycle.
Yeah, it's a bit weird that it was such a massive delay between here and Europe. Like it's almost a wonder why
yeah.
they bothered releasing it at all if it got such a terrible critical reception on a console that not many people are buying these types of games, especially. For.
Even Nintendo, like when they're sending out press releases to like, or just like, you know, like mailing list stuff, they remind you of all the great games that are coming out. Like the final paragraph is like, oh yeah, if you want to get Devil's Third, it's
It's not even a paragraph, it's a bullet point. They like buried it.
Oh no. Speaking of weird stuff that was released in Europe first, Rory McIlroy, PGA Tour, finally gets the honors. Get away, Tiger. I'm on the box representing Northern Ireland. 3 out of 10. Apparently this is not a good golf game.
I guess not.
No. Eh.
Does anyone have any
It didn't
Golf experts.
It didn't look great. I mean, the actual environments themselves looked pretty shoddy.
Let's see
and
some
it was
gameplay here. I'll
rushed
come up
out.
with something.
That's Tiger Woods. Wrong game.
Wait, really?
No, I'm only
That's
kidding.
just Tiger Woods.
You can only play as Rory McIlroy in this game. Look at this game. I'd give this game a bogey.
A golf out of sports.
Look
A
at
golf
that.
out of sports.
That guy looks pretty good. That what do you call that guy?
The caddy?
The caddy. That
The
guy.
couch master?
Yeah.
Couch master.
Couch master. Look at that. Look. Will he get it? Will he get it? Will he get it? Will he get it? Golf.
3 out of 10!
Yeah, baseball. This game's got everything.
They're adding Conor McGregor with
Thanks, all of a
DLC.
sudden.
Exactly. A game that somebody here on the couch has played. A game that was so bad that it's been pulled from stores. Afro Samurai 2. 2 out of 10 on GameSpot. Peter, wow. In a game full of in a year with some hot garbage, this may have been the stinkies.
It's one of the worst like finished published games I've ever played. Both on a technical level, on a design level, and just when it comes to just like
It was painful watching him
I
review
know.
this.
I like
As much screaming as you did during Tony Hawk, I think maybe this was worse.
I just remember watching him review it, and you just were the saddest I've ever seen you.
Slump shoulders.
I don't even know where to start. Like, okay,
We're not even showing footage.
yeah, we have to show
Too
footage.
bad.
I need like a source of
We
inspiration.
can't
here.
because it's going to give people convulsions.
Yeah.
Okay. Afro Samurai
Afro
2
Samurai 2.
is a game that
okay.
has a combat system. There's three tiers in its combat system that offer different fighting styles. None of them matter. Like cutscenes end halfway through and gameplay goes, but you still have the audio from the cutscene going and
Okay.
the audio from the gameplay.
Great.
There's a scene where you're going to try to find a man, and the game's justification is, where do you go to find men? Strip clubs. So, okay, so there's a strip club, that's fine. But the problem is, when you're in the strip club, it focuses on a woman whose
here we go.
breasts are out, just swaying back and forth for like 10 minutes.
Right.
2 minutes later, this dude, like, after she dies, like, calls her a bitch. And it's like, oh my God, like, what is
this?
This game has nothing going for it, it sounds like.
What era did this game come out? It's horrible. I mean,
And because of the bad checkpoints, did you have to redo that scene like 4 times?
I had to redo that scene
can't-
multiple times because
Yeah.
there was a boss fight that didn't actually just describe how, like, what the rules were.
Yeah.
So I didn't know, so I was beating my head against a wall forever.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
God.
All right.
Great.
They set up this like huge town. They do this huge flyby, and they're like, oh man, like I'm gonna have to go explore. And then they put you right at the doorstep of the place you need to get to. Like,
Oh, really?
This is a game of unrealized ideas, like unrefined writing, poor acting. The best thing it has is a soundtrack that is
Oh, yeah.
somewhat enjoyable.
And it's a real shame. So soak it in, kids, because this is the only way you'll be able to experience Afro Samurai 2. It's not available
Unbelievable.
anymore. Kevin Van Orn, before he left us for greener pastures, 3 out of 10 Godzilla. Wow.
Yeah, that
I watched-
game is trash.
Yeah.
To quote a Peter Brown ism, it is a trash game for garbage people.
Garbage game for trash.
Garbage
people.
game for trash people. Whatever.
What a
No,
shame.
It's bad. It's bad. It's like
Look at it.
Yeah, you're supposed to be.
It's Just Cause 3, basically,
Yeah.
right? You're just like,
You're just destroying. You're destroying the city, and like you know how it stops and it stops and it stops.
yeah.
That's part of the gameplay, and they put that in on purpose so they could recreate like the feel of the TV show,
Okay.
where things would slow down. But instead of being like entertaining, it's just super frustrating.
To walk long distances as well. There's this
Oh.
like lumbering.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Try again.
Can't call an Uber.
Try.
He
yeah.
moves. He moves so slow. It's
What a
so
shame.
bad.
Look at him.
Look at this.
Look at it. Yeah, it's just we don't even need us to talk. Just watch this pile of garbage.
Here we go.
Look at that guy in the top right-hand corner. He's not even animated. Look at that thing. It's a metal Godzilla. Yeah. Speaking of weird games based around carnage, we finally got to play Carmageddon Reincarnation. Cameron Woolsey reviewed it for us, 4 out of 10. Has anyone played that one?
I played
Nice
the
look.
beta.
Yeah.
It was a technical mess. But that's a beta for you. I don't know. What did he say? Do you remember?
Nope, sure don't.
How similar are these games to like Twisted Metal or Vigilante 8?
No,
if you will.
they're not like car arena battlers. Like
No.
they are.
What is going on?
Clearly not.
Okay, still a technical mess. Yeah, no, these are just racing games that, like, like the original came out like in the early '90s, and it was all bloody and dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, cool, let's
Banned
bring
in
it
the
back.
UK.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
It's
A real shame, because I love some of these old classic games, and like some of them
should
this
remain classics.
kind of like this is a
Exactly.
great game to come back, but then just bad excuse. Like this, like Road Rash is the
That
other
looks
one
like
that
arena
like
stuff.
What?
didn't come out for
Oh no.
she's
Oh
dead.
god.
Yeah, there you go. Go. What's gonna happen? Okay, God, that's.
Game
This is an official trailer, I think.
This is so weird.
The Penguins. Almost had it back.
Gotcha.
We got a couple of more to get through. I got 3 more here. Austin Walker, before he joined Giant Bomb, reviewed a bunch of games for us. He really liked Project Cars. He was not so much fun of Codename Steam.
Oh my god, screw that game.
4 out of 10.
I hate that game.
Didn't they announce it like only the E3 previous?
They
Like it
announced
came
it-
out like 9 months later?
Yeah, they had like a big special presentation where they were like, we're going to announce our new game, and it was Codename Steam. And what's so disappointing about Codename Steam is it is a strategy, like tactical turn-based game by the Fire Emblem people.
Yeah.
The Fire Emblem games are so good, and Codename Steam was such garbage. And the whole idea of like the American heroes teaming up was kind of cool, like Abraham
Nah.
Lincoln like running like what is his like underground steampunk mafia or whatever it was, sounded cool, but some of the characters also really overtly racist, and the gameplay real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Real
it,
bad.
it tried to be like an XCOM light for
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah, no.
And it's like it was slow. The themes, like the themes and the artwork were just immediately off-putting to me, and the gameplay added no value. It is a shame, it's like curious footnote in the last year for Nintendo. Like no one talks about it anymore.
I know.
Yeah.
They made such a big deal about it and just quietly
Yeah,
swept it
came
under
and
the
went.
rug.
Yeah, and they had to do like a patch for it because like the turns were too slow,
Yes, I remember that. You're right.
and
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
like this big deal because the enemy turns took too long, so
Yeah.
you could speed it up. Like just a mess, just a
Nightmare.
technical mess.
The lowest scoring game on GameSpot.com was earlier this year, Don Sauce with Raven's Cry. Do
Yeah.
you remember that?
Sexist
Yeah, I
crap.
remember reading
Oh,
something.
yeah.
The thing that stood out to me was the fact that you had to press the X button like multiple times to open a door. It was just riddled with illogical
hard door.
mechanics. I
Yeah.
guess
It's a bit stuck. You gotta really twist
jam
it.
on that
Yeah.
button. I mean, this looks nice,
Right?
But so you said it was sexist, Alexa?
So I previewed the game a couple years ago, and I remember seeing it when it came out. It's just really like gross and like
Yeah.
overtly sexual, and like it doesn't even do it in like a way that's like to the plot or to character development. It's just there to be there, and I think it's just
I remember
gross.
Don's review actually highlighted that pretty
Yeah.
heavily as well, and just technical problems around, and just not like just incredibly uninteresting
Yeah.
around the whole way. So
It's no Black Flag.
No,
it's no Black Flag. No, if
No.
you want to play a pirate game, you got it. Raven's Cry there, 1 out of 10 on GameSpot.com. The last one to mention this year, Yowza. I feel like this game would get an even worse score if it came out today. Justin Clark reviewed Hatred. 10 out of that's 3 out of 10. Almost at 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10
Almost.
for tired ass Postal clone. I used to like old Postal games. I used to play. They were kind of like dumb games when I was a kid. This is like a poor version of that, which
Tired-ass
then
Postal clone.
also I don't know, just was like super gross and
It's incredibly gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, considering everything that's happened this year with like mass shootings and like violence and stuff, I just feel like this game was I
like
don't
as
know.
bad a reception as it got back in
Yeah.
whatever it was, June or something.
It'd be
like,
worse today.
Like you got to say that they're probably not going to be making a sequel to this bad boy anytime soon.
No.
I had like distance from it. I never touched it.
Yeah, I think
Both-
it kind of came out to a bit of a whimper, I think, as
Yeah.
well. Not a lot of people played it. Some people were talking about not covering it and covering it, but ultimately, like, the game just, it's all, it's all teeth and no bite, really.
Well, and you hear people like sort of defending like the gameplay, saying, "Well, the gameplay is sound. Like it actually is like a decent." And it's like, well, you know what? Like there are so many other games that are good and worth your time. Why the hell would you support something as hateful and disgusting as this game? Like
Yeah.
this is a game about mass murder for the sake of retribution against strangers. Fuck that.
Yeah. Let's stop showing footage of it. How about that? Thanks. Worst games that came out this year, but let's go down the couch and say what was our favorite worst game, or what was the game that was the worst to you personally?
Favorite worst
Like
game?
most disappointing worst game, flat out worst game.
I'm gonna stick with Codename Steam because
Okay.
I adore the Fire Emblem games, and I had such high hopes when I heard that Intelligent Systems was making something like another tactical thing like Fire Emblem, but not Fire Emblem, and I was just the most disappointed
Yeah.
I've ever been, I think.
Mike, what do you think?
I'll go Devil's Third just because I think of the bad games, that's the one I spent the most time with, and by that I mean 75 minutes or something. But I remember just thinking to myself, maybe they're trying to be this bad, but I don't think that was the case, especially considering Nintendo's kind of brushing it under the rug afterward.
Or like Devil's Turd.
Nice.
Thank you.
I've never heard that joke before.
That was,
I love
that
you,
was one of
Danny.
our decks, I think, before we deleted
Peter,
it.
what's yours?
Afro Samurai 2.
fair
It's a very ignorant game, and it's poorly made, and it never should have been brought to market. And sorry, guys.
Well,
Your
there
name
won't
got
be any
pulled for a
sequels
good
now.
reason. I know, thank God.
You know what a game I probably will get a sequel that I was super disappointed about? Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5.
You think it will?
Yeah, I think
Really?
they're going to keep making skateboard games, and I think Tony Hawk's going to be still a name in. Like, I think he's still he will be the most recognizable skateboarder 10 years from now.
Oh,
in the
sure.
same way that, like, you know, Colin McRae wasn't the most recognizable, like, sports person in the world, but that name still had clout within the genre of rally.
You know what game has real clout within the skateboarding community?
What?
Skate?
Yeah, I love Skate. I love Skate.
That is a game that should come back.
Activision love bringing back a franchise, though, so I don't know, we'll see. Plenty of awful games to talk about this year. What a shame. Of course, our GameSpot Game of the Year awards are on, which is the opposite of this. Make sure you check out the site to see what we think of our best games that came out in 2015. And let us know in the comments what you thought were the worst games, your personal worst game that came out in 2015. All right, we got a bunch more stuff to talk about in the show. I want to let people know that we got a final segment today, which is all about the game that we played the longest. Our friends at Duracell have asked us to sort of pick through the games we played and then explain which is the one that we couldn't put the controller down for. So we're going to do that the last section on the site. But you can also get involved as well. If you're on Twitter, use hashtag Duracell Sweeps. And then also, we're going to have a little competition at the end of the show. So make sure you're watching then for a chance to win 10 of the best games that came out this year. Duracell Sweeps, hashtag Duracell Sweeps. I'm keeping an eye on it here on my laptop. Let us know what was the game that you personally could not put down, and we'll put it to our panel as well. We'll be back in just a second. We got a trailer for Unravel. This game looks pretty, coming out in 2016. Let's check it out. "2015 was a wonderful year for video games, and if you are like me, you're already looking forward to January and all the games that are going to come out in 2016. Peter Brown, Mike Mahardy, Alexa Ray Correa. Let's go through it. Let's get 2016 hype. Are you hype?
Yes.
Are you hype, Mike?
Yeah,
You're always hype.
I am. That's my thing.
Peter Brown?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Okay. How about, I'll just
Cynical Peter Brown.
tantalize you with this one. How about XCOM 2 coming out in February? Excited for that?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Second XCOM.
I actually am not a huge XCOM fan. So, I mean, I'm glad to see that game is coming back and people are excited for it.
Yeah, Andy
But-
Bauman went off and played a bunch of it last week, I think.
I'm so excited for
big fan
XCOM
as
2.
well, yeah.
I'm extremely excited for XCOM 2. I'm not going to be.
Tell me
cynic
why,
here.
tell me why.
So, Enemy Unknown and Enemy Within, both Unreal, like this
Brilliant.
blend of just squad tactics and overall strategy.
Yeah. I'm playing
just
Enemy
excited.
Within right now on the iPad.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, Enemy
super
Within
fun.
is so good.
And I'm just really excited for like more units, more enemies. It's kind of this cool new take on the world where it's 20 years after and the aliens have already won. So you're more of a rebellion than an actual like defense force.
Yeah.
And there's so many small things that I'm really excited about. You can carry squad mates when they're wounded. You can carry them when they're dead and you just need their gear, which is pretty morbid, but I mean, it still adds another layer. But you can also, like when you go into some missions, you're in stealth as opposed to automatic, like the aliens knowing where you are. So you can kind of complete objectives theoretically just without them knowing you were there. And I'm a big fan of stealth and XCOM, so kind of blending those two seems pretty appealing to me. Overall, it just sounds like, you know, if they take what made the first games great and make it better, that should be awesome.
Yeah, we've seen, I guess, a lot of people, the sort of MOBA genre expand out into different genres, and next year is kind of when the first-person MOBA chickens will come home to roost. We're going to have
Hero
Overwatch
shooter.
and Battleborn within the first half of the year.
Yeah.
Hero shooters, yeah.
Hero shooters.
Any takers for either of those games? Because they are kind of going up against each other, in a way, although they're both consoles and both PC now as well.
I've played a little bit of both, and like I hate MOBAs because MOBAs are for nerds. So I played a little
Says
bit.
Final Fantasy.
I played a little bit of both. I played them at events, and Overwatch. I really like the style of Overwatch, and I really like the setup of Overwatch. However, like I don't know what I'm doing going into those games. So when I was playing at events, I would get sniped the second
Yeah.
I walked out. So that needs some balancing. I'm optimistic.
I
though.
think that's a kind of an event problem. Is
Yes,
that you have because
absolutely.
we played at BlizzCon and myself, Eric Tay, and Andy Bauman just smoked everyone because we were playing as a team because we were there together. I have played so much Overwatch. Like it's weird. We're talking about like the best first-person shooters that came out this year. Or we played this year. This is the best FPS I played this year. It's just
Yeah.
not officially out yet because that alpha was pretty. It was pretty closed. So I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, no, Overwatch is great, but with Battleborn, so I think a lot of what makes Battleborn charming is the character thing. Like, I think Battleborn is going to be the game for people that like to latch onto a character and play a game because of a character, whereas Overwatch will be the game for people that want that hero shooter.
I've warmed to the characters in Overwatch more as well, maybe because I haven't played much Battleborn. There seems to be more of it, like Blizzard are so good at that in a way that, I don't know, this seems to be so disparate with like Mushroom, Dude, and some of them are
The penguin in
quite
the mech?
trite.
Nico.
Okay, the penguin in the mech's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Especially because Rob Handlery does the voice for it. Has anyone played Battleborn? Anyone else?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think?
We got to play some of the co-op campaigns, something. I guess they're saying it's story-driven, but even that's pretty bare bone. But in general, yeah, it's definitely going for the same thing as Overwatch and I guess Battle Cry to some extent. But
Oh yeah,
the-
that's been pushed back as well.
right, it's a cool concept. I mean, in terms of this, if you want a story out of these games, which isn't like a huge drawing force, but like there's one more star in the galaxy everybody's converging on. But it really, I mean, this is Nico they're using right now, the mushroom guy you mentioned, and he's more of a support character and he can heal. But I don't know, it's still got that whole, different characters with different abilities that you can kind of experiment with, and I could see myself putting a few hours into it.
It's going to be interesting to see which one of those sort of rises to the top. A game that has a story that people are very interested in. March 18th, we're going to finally get Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. Any takers for that one?
Yeah, I love everything Tyroot does, so I can't wait to watch it.
Nightmare times.
No, what is the deal with the
What is the deal with?
with the choosing of the branching, like the storyline stuff,
Oh,
like
the
in the
dialogue.
cutscenes, like
That's probably just like
We
pretty
don't
surface
know.
level, right?
Yeah, well, we
I-
have no idea. We have
I'm
no
sure they're
idea.
gonna flick a switch after that. Like, what a way to test an audience by giving them like that little taste and seeing how people react to it.
Yeah.
Like,
Right, maybe. Yeah.
Nobody wants that. They could easily just turn it off if it was a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anybody wants it. It just doesn't
Eh.
make sense to me. Like these games seem to be.
They don't need it.
They
No,
don't.
They're
Yeah.
roller coasters that when you play a part, it's in a sequence that is like action packed. It's not during this like moment where you're trying to make a poignant decision with your brother who you haven't seen in 10 years. Like what game is that? That's not
Yeah.
Uncharted.
Downtime.
Well-
You want to ride the roller coaster. You don't want to be the guy pulling the lever.
He gets it.
I'm really interested to see how this game shakes out because the original writer is no longer
Oh, yeah?
working on the series. Amy Hennig left, and now she's working on EA's Star Wars game. And I don't know. I feel like if she was around, maybe the dialogue choices wouldn't be a thing. So I'm sort of cautiously optimistic. Like I'm gonna play it because Uncharted's been a great series, but I do think maybe story-wise, We'll see.
Two Drakes this time around.
A game,
Drakes, two Furies.
Drakai, I think is what we called them. A game that we haven't seen much of a little bit at E3, which definitely sort of got the taste buds of watering. June 2016, Recore. Peter Brown, excited for that?
Yeah, I like things that Keiji Inafune does. He tends to...
He's doing a lot of them at the moment.
He's doing a lot of them at the moment. He's also a very misunderstood guy. Rather than focus on the controversy surrounding his other projects, this is one that is really interesting to me because not only is it a Keiji Inafune joint, it is an Armature Studios joint, and that studio is run by a lot of guys who used to work on Metroid Prime,
Right.
which is one of my favorite little mini-series of all time. And it's interesting because it sort of does the Mega Man thing in that one of the characters can kind of transform and have different abilities. In this case, by being implanted into something rather than taking on a thing. But yeah, we still don't know too much about it. But I'm willing to sort of be on the, for a change, optimistic.
Yeah, we'll see. Look at those people on the couch. They're different to the people on the couch right now. It's the same couch though. Getting on, we've got a bunch more games, so let's rush through a couple more. Doom, we will see maybe next year. That's a first-person shooter.
Yeah.
It's software I'm making. Good luck to them. Hopefully that'll be cool.
really rushed.
The multiplayer is great. I've played multiplayer.
You have?
Yes.
Yeah.
Many people have. There was an open beta recently.
Is it like?
It's like Quake.
Okay.
It's really fast and it's really fun. And I had sort of given up on Doom during the E3 presentation, but when I went to QuakeCon and played the multiplayer, total about face. Maybe I don't care about the campaign, but that multiplayer is awesome.
Great. There you go. Multiplayer in a Doom game.
Here's your
Finally.
review.
No Man's Sky didn't come out in 2015.
Nope.
Apparently coming out like the week of E3 or something.
Yeah.
That's going to be a nightmare for them. Yeah, looking forward to that one on the couch.
Yeah, it is a crazy experiment that I think will. I'll be curious to see the long-term benefits of what they're trying to do and how the community latches onto it. Because there's supposed to be 18 quintillion planets in this
Yeah,
universe.
We will
Okay.
never ever get anywhere close to finding 1%.
Oh no, of course
No.
not. But the method in which they're creating all of these things is kind of obvious, but also ingenious in the way they've implemented it. And then you add on this sort of seamless transition from space to terra firma. It's the definitive open world game. I can't think of a game that tries to tackle that at such a scale any better than this does.
Yeah, even if the gameplay is going to be relatively restrictive as it seems to be, it seems to be a pretty, you go out, mine for stuff, upgrade your ship so you can explore further. We'll see how many legs that has. Just as a concept, it seems like it's going to be so much fun. Especially now that Girl has made it all the way back to Earth.
Yeah.
And Nobby Boy's finished. It's finally.
I love that you call it Nobby Boy.
What's it, Noby Boy?
Noby.
Noby Boy.
I prefer Nobby.
Nobby is
bet
too
you
For
do.
big.
obvious reasons. I prefer Nobby Boys. Another game that we're dying to play, which we saw more of at E3.
Literally dying.
Dying. The Last Guardian.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should
That
be super
shit out
exciting.
there
Looks
already.
great. Gloss of paint on it.
Yeah.
I still know nothing about what it is. Going to be a puzzle platformer with a big old dog-looking thing.
A boy,
Dog
his
bird.
griffin kind
Yeah.
of thing.
And his
Psycho.
awkward gait.
Eco, but instead of a little girl, it's this disaster.
Little boy.
Look at him. Oh, he's so
Yeah.
cute looking, but he's going to get you killed.
He's also gonna die at some
Seriously?
point.
Oh
There's-
yeah, I know.
Oh my God, this stresses me out.
Top picks for 2016 characters who die is Nathan Drake's brother and this thing.
But what if it dies and then from its corpse emerges a baby version of itself, and the cycle of life
Like a
begins
phoenix?
anew?
So it's-
And you
I
lift it
also
up
a
to the
phoenix?
sky.
Yes, like a phoenix.
and
I hope that's not it. I really hope he doesn't die. I really hope that's not what this is setting up.
There you go. The
if
last
they
Guardian. That's why there's not a baby.
What if they ascend to heaven together? Assuming there is a heaven.
Let's not
into
get
that
heavy
whole
here,
thing.
okay? It's
Yeah,
a video
this
game.
A game that is getting into some pretty deep topics, though, which hopefully we'll play next year, is Cuphead.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Themes
The
of
struggle of classes
National-
and
Have you
guys played
giant
that?
Disney, no,
frogs.
I've only watched it, but
tough.
that's enough for me to want to play it.
So hard.
really
Oh, really?
It's
Is it super difficult?
ridiculously
hard.
hard.
It's
I
so
finally
hard.
played it at PAX, and I remember it took me a while to even get my head around the
played
fact that it
together.
was. Yeah, we did. It was more of a contra than it was anything
yeah.
else.
Oh, it's
because,
yeah.
I don't know, between crouching and actually the bosses, it's all just boss
It's
fights.
all boss
It's all
fights.
boss fights.
Yeah, and you're going between each boss, and I was trying to find the easiest one during the demo, and none of them were. And apparently I suck at it, but maybe I'll get better. I'm looking forward to it. It was fun, but it just
And it's beautiful too. They've
Yeah.
done an amazing
Yeah,
job.
it's
Yeah.
super pretty.
it's hand drawn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Yeah.
Or the,
I worry the
obviously-
accessibility is going to become an issue, and that game might not do so hot.
On the multiplayer space side of things, For Honor That looked
Yay.
interesting.
That game's fun.
Yeah?
That game's fun as heck. You
Does
have
it play
to,
like Chivalry at all or anything like that, or is it easier to control? Because it's the same kind of like
Yeah,
you're
you
blocking and
Yeah, there's like the three, you have like the triangle, so like there's a top and a side and a side, and you can block or hit or whatever, and it's one of those games where you sort of have to be on a headset talking to someone.
Right.
Like I played at PAX with a friend, and we were in a team of 4, and she and I had each other on the headsets, and we're like, okay, you have to capture areas and defend them while also capturing new areas. So it's like, all right, you stay and defend this. I'm gonna go capture, and then she'd be like, I need backup, and I would go, and then she'd switch out. Like you really have to communicate with the people on your team, which I actually really like that it sort of simplifies that and simplifies the amount of actions that you need to do. But it's really fun. I really like it. Also, it looks really pretty.
So it's like multiplayer Dynasty Warriors then.
Yeah, it's like multiplayer Dynasty Warriors without the Dynasty Warriors.
it's weird because like there seems to be like I feel like there's been a bunch of these games flying around on Steam for the past 5 years, but this is the first time somebody with like AAA pedigree is really taking a swing at it. Get it? Anyway,
It was a lot of fun. It handles really well.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Nauseous.
There's a game that we didn't really know much about, and then people got super excited about. Delighted that Guerrilla are making something other than Killzone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Looks great.
It looks like Far Cry, third person, with dinosaurs and some weird cyberpunk aspects. So it's
There's
nothing
a Far
like
Cry
Far
with,
Cry.
with
Erase what I
dinosaurs.
said.
So it's Far Cry Primal.
The new,
what
like a
you're saying.
newer Far
Are
Cry,
there
right?
dinosaurs in Far Cry Primal?
No.
Oh.
Probably, right?
There are raptors in
I
the
mean,
earlier
there's
ones.
probably one in there somewhere.
Raptors?
This is such a weird blend. Like you see her and you assume it's going to be some sort
Yeah.
of like even I don't know, like you said, Far Cry Primal. But then the dinosaurs themselves are made out of like some sort of machinery.
Yo, the robots,
Yeah, the
man.
machinery.
Yeah.
What I'm worried about with this game is that they've shown it off like a couple times, E3 being the biggest when it was revealed. Every demo they show takes place in the same little area.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
them approaching this enemy in a different way, and that's well and good and proves that the system works. But is there not something more tantalizing that they can show us? It's usually not a good sign when the best thing you have is like one vertical slice and you iterate upon that for months on end in terms, in the public eye.
Yeah,
Like,
fingers crossed we'll see a lot more of this before
I hope so.
it comes out.
Peter, it's the Final Fantasy 15 approach.
There you go.
You show the same vertical slice over and over.
Delicious when the slice tastes that good. Speaking of wild lands, Ghost Recon Wildlands may be coming out next year as well.
What is he talking about?
Remember Ghost Recon
Yeah,
Wildlands?
that
Remember
was
they
a
showed that?
complete surprise at E3,
Shrug.
right?
Yeah.
There's nothing
Like
else about
open
it
world
before it.
Ghost Recon
It's like
game.
an open world third-person Ghost Recon, and
Yeah.
you're taking down the cartel, and you can kind of decide whether to get. They showed the same demo, the same area twice.
How did I miss this?
Once they
Yeah.
went in, like, it had a sniper up here, and it's like stealthily kind of extracted the guy they're going for. The next, they went in just guns blazing, brought it out like a jeep. I mean, it doesn't sound like it's anything crazy new, but if they can kind of use like Ghost Recon's always really controlled well.
Yo,
If they
shoot that
can-
guy.
It's like multiplayer
He looks
Metal
like
Gear.
he sells drugs. Great.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what you could do in Metal Gear, I guess, if you're being stealthy, or
It's just
if
so
you don't want
brown.
to be stealthy.
Look at it. It's great.
I don't know.
You get to kill
mech-
drug lords. You get
it's-
to maybe take some drugs.
In a brown
That
land.
truck doesn't know how to drive properly.
Because he's on drugs.
Looking for because of the drugs. A
there's-
game we haven't seen much of at all, and fingers crossed, is either getting delayed for a new console or it's just taking long. The new Zelda game. Will we see that next year? Will it be on the NX?
I'm willing to bet that it will be on both. Well, actually,
Twilight Princess thing.
That's a pretty safe bet.
I mean, it's a safe bet, but like if we also believe that recent patent that got out that Nintendo engineers' names were attached to for the new controller,
Yeah.
you have to imagine anything Nintendo's doing will, especially a game as big as this, take advantage of that, right? They've done it with the gamepad for the Wii U. So I'm curious if they're actually going to retool it just for the NX, but then also put it out on Wii U. I mean, I suppose they could and just not go too deep into that new controller and all those weird aspects it might introduce, but yeah, I think this game is going to come out regardless of the platform next year for sure.
Fingers crossed, anyway.
I
hope so.
yeah.
Super good. On the same sort of Nintendo front, Kingdom Hearts 3 as well.
Same
Gonna see
Nintendo
that next
front.
year?
Nintendo?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Oh, dude, we're not getting the
Same
game.
weird ass
Danny,
Japanese games front.
we are not getting this game for like 2 years. This game is not coming out next year. 100% no. Absolutely not. They have one more prequel game coming out, Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue,
Jesus.
Barf.
which has to come out next
Oh,
year.
Nintendo.
Oh, Nintendo. No, this game is like they're still announcing worlds. They've barely shown us much of what's going on. This game is 2017 at the earliest. It's not coming out next year.
Okay.
Especially with Final Fantasy 15, they're not going to blow their 2 big JRPG loads in 1 year. Absolutely not.
Don't blow your load. You know who's blowing their
That was
load though?
gross. I apologize for saying that.
Xbox are going to blow 3 loads on us next year. I've got them right here. They are our final 3 games on my
I'm
list.
so sorry.
First of all, who's excited for Gears of 4?
Sure. Yay. Yes.
Yeah?
Good series. I know
I thought
Mary
that was the-
Kish is. Excited for it? Mary's
Yeah,
excited
I
for
was
it.
excited for it. She's right there. She's freaking out
She's
right now.
dancing.
They've said
Calm
they're
down.
going
Gear
back
series
to like
is
the
good.
horror roots that one had. I hope they do
Who
because
the
that's
fuck thought the first game was a horror game? I thought
That's
that was
what
the
they
worst
said.
demo I have seen at E3 in a long time.
Yeah, this thing
it
was
was
chasing
so
them on the
dark.
roofs.
Nothing was going on. Two characters who I don't have a clue where they are.
I'm intrigued.
I don't know. It just looks so weird. Look at this thing. It's like a fucking mongoose. Gotta shoot it. Shoot
What
it.
are
Why are you
mongoose
looking
like
at
in
it?
Ireland?
Shoot it. You dumbass.
What kind of mongooses do they have in Ireland?
Mongai.
Jane? Mongai.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, hopefully it'll be good. It'll be a cover shooter. They're real hot.
I
Peter
like the dark.
scowling.
It's like Bloodborne, but with Gears of War.
And no lights.
I'm so sick of old IPs.
Oh, really?
So sick
Yeah.
of
Well then, Microsoft's other two loads are new IPs. The first one from the good people at Remedy, it's a Quantum Break.
Quantum.
Why'd you say it like that?
That's how he speaks.
Sam
Remedy
Lake.
man.
Remedy
Max
Red.
Payne, what's his
Sam
name?
Lake.
Sam
Sam Lake, yeah.
Alan Wake,
It's a
Sam
Quantum Break.
Quantum
I'm
Break.
a Sam Lake from Remedy, and this is a Quantum Break.
It's weird
I,
because
uh,
initially I thought it was actually going to use time mechanics more than it looks. Now it looks more. It's kind of like bullet time from Max Payne, but then just really fast body slam dashes.
Yeah.
Press X to body slam dash.
Yeah.
The TV
And-
show has been rolled back, so now it's on the disc,
It's got
which is a good
I-
thing, probably.
Right.
I don't
Iceman Bobby
know.
Drake.
I-
He's in it now, or he's always been in it, I guess, but he's still in it, and he's sprinting
Yeah.
through time.
Littlefinger's the bad guy, apparently.
Oh yeah. Look at that.
Littlefinger traveled through time to be the villain in
Yeah, it's
Quantum
in the
Break.
same universe as Game of Thrones, apparently.
Oh,
And then the final load, my good friends, Microsoft, you made your bet,
I'm so sorry.
is Crackdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the most exciting thing about Crackdown is the stuff they're doing with the cloud. Like,
Yes,
if
Cloud
you,
Strike finally in the game.
no,
No,
excited.
no more, not another.
Right, Nintendo.
This is the one game that has finally proven to me, and granted, it was only in an isolated demo. Microsoft said it was like real world scenario where like we don't have there's not going to be a next gen that we care about. Like,
Right.
This game is introducing a thing where you have the power of like 25 Xbox Ones, you know, from multiple servers coming together, and it proves itself when you watch entire buildings, like huge cityscapes, crumble without the game skipping a beat. Like, yeah, Just
Amazing.
Cause 3 can do some stuff that's pretty cool. This game is like that times 10. It is insane, but the regular game, I don't know.
It'll be fun for a while, right? If they do it well with the cloud and everything.
Maybe. I mean, well, the cloud stuff is only going to be multiplayer. It's not going to have to do anything with the single player game. And I love the original Crackdown. The
Yeah.
second one just seemed to iterate on it with no real added value. I don't know what they're going to do to make this
Yeah.
something new, right? If it's just more of the same, like
I
I was
mean,
saying
I
a
would-
minute ago, I'm tired of more of the same.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and find out. 2016 is when that's coming out. I'm sure I've forgotten a couple. First one that comes to mind actually is The Division. Hopefully we'll see that next year as well.
Forgot about that game.
Ubisoft need to get that out maybe. They've haven't had great success with new IP with Watch Dogs. Hopefully this will be a great new addition to their slate. Anything else that you guys can think of that I didn't mention? I'm
Did
sure
you
the
talk
chat
about
knows
Final
already.
Fantasy 15?
Final Fantasy 15?
Yeah,
I
I'm
didn't
excited.
talk about it.
We didn't talk
It's
about
one of
it.
those Nintendo games.
It's one of those Nintendo games.
So sorry, Square. So sorry.
Big games.
God, I can't believe Danny thinks that Final Fantasy is a Nintendo game.
I think Disney's Nintendo. Isn't that what happened? They bought
Wait,
Disney?
they're
Yeah.
basic. Sure. Eventually, Disney will buy
Everything. Yeah,
Well-
they will consume us all. Mary, you shouted something?
Division.
I said The Division.
The Division.
Good
Finally.
chat. Good chat.
Dark Souls 3.
Dark Souls 3.
Oh, Dark Souls 3.
Oh,
There you go.
yeah,
I did
Dark,
forget.
Souls 3.
Dark Souls 3. From what I played, it's really fun. It looks like they're kind of bringing a little more Bloodborne into Dark Souls, but also keeping the franchises separate.
Yeah.
Which is great because I know people who are Souls fans that don't like Bloodborne and vice
Yeah.
versa. I myself like both, so I'm kind of happy to see them melting into one another a little bit, as long as it still feels like a Dark Souls game, which it does so far.
Haven't even mentioned Madden 16. FIFA 16. New Forza game, right? They're on annual.
Fire Emblem Fates is going to be good.
Fire Emblem Fates.
I
So
assume
many
it'll be
games
good.
coming out in 2016.
Firewatch.
Thank you. Firewatch.
Deus Ex.
Nobody knows what that is.
Is Firewatch going to be good?
Firewatch.
It looks alright.
I played it. It's like Gone Home, only you're an older sad guy,
And you do stuff
and you, yeah,
I'm
instead of just
sold.
looking
you
around.
do stuff.
I like it. That's
What's the
pretty
wait? What's the exclusive pre-order bonus though? Oh
Fire.
man.
Another older sad guy. I don't know.
good. So many great games coming out in 2016. We don't have time for any more. Let us know what your favorite game was of 2016. What are you most looking forward to? Your most anticipated game, rather, I should say, in the comment box below. All right, we'll be back in a second. We're going to talk about the games we most played in 2015. But first of all, Mary Kish put together a wonderful video about our move. You may have noticed that we are currently in the CNET studios. Thank you so much to our friends at CNET for allowing us to. Great, look at that. Look at that. That's not a bad. It kind of looks like it's fake, right?
It does look like it's fake. Is anything moving?
That is Cincinnati.
It's not. There is real building and
Damn.
real Web 2.0 shit happening out there.
The bridge in the back.
2.0.
Gentrification.
But we've been up here. We moved office from the bottom floor, from the third floor to the bottom floor of this building, and that was a floor that GameSpot was on for
14 years.
14 years.
I believe.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So if you watched old On the Spot or all the way back to Rich Gallup stuff, anything between then and now was all done on that floor. So
Back when Jeff had bleached hair.
yes. Back before
Dark
you were
days.
born, 14 years ago. It's amazing you have that beard.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's that TRT or whatever you're using.
Oh my
testosterone.
God.
It's
Sure,
amazing. So yeah, we spent a lot of time on that floor, and obviously very sad to leave it go. So Mary put together this little montage of us getting the hell out of there. Let's check it out.
The end of our offices as we know it. Danny, your desk is so empty.
Nothing's labeled. I'm gonna see none of this ever again. Except this showstopper.
Your desk looks a little empty.
Yeah, except for all these goddamn Oktoberfest glasses.
Looks like you're keeping all of your glassware.
Oh my god.
You gonna take those carrots?
One box and some carrots. I think I'm gonna hang on to the carrots.
They're
They're so good. Maybe get some more mileage out of them.
Those are good carrots. Trucking.
Picking up all these games. Can you imagine they actually had a game for a laptop specific?
What are these?
Oh, those are all Mega Man and Sonic the Hedgehog comics.
God. Micah!
Someone's office?
You can't just walk into my office. I didn't know you were promoted. Congratulations. It's and drinking beers.
Well, it says 98% L.
What a piece of
But I thought
shit.
it said 98% L.
Thanks to Mary for putting that together, and thanks to everyone who helped us move from the third floor to the first floor, and indeed to everyone who's helping put together our new lobby set, which will be kicking off in February. We're going to take a little month off in January to get it all working. We'll have a bunch of stuff on the site to fill that gap in terms of news and whatnot. But yeah, we got a lot of building to do. Do you miss anything about the third floor, particularly, apart from the memories?
Apart from the memories,
You had a room full of game technology in there at one stage.
No, I mean, the memories are the hardest thing to walk away from. I mean, I've been at GameSpot 4 years, which pales in comparison to people, some people have been here for a lot longer than that. But, the stains on the carpet, the chips on the desks, they are a product of GameSpot's growth, not as a business, but just as a place where people come together to make great stuff and communicate with fans. And, we're starting fresh. As I was talking to Jeff about it yesterday, and he's like, someone needs to break something. Somebody needs to die in this floor. Somehow we have to break it in. And I miss that broken in feeling. I miss the feeling of it being established and having history. So, history begins anew here, and I look forward to seeing what we do. I think we're going to do great stuff, and hopefully this move is a good kickstart.
Yeah, for sure.
Team.
I feel the same way. It's being able to walk past where the Time Trotters room was and sit on the same set that was there when I was in Ireland watching fucking all those years ago was really special. But it is also nice to sometimes you need to cut and run, right? You need to stop thinking about the way things were and think, okay, what is this site now? And how do we sort of best service people, right?
And it's, for all the sad things that come along with it, it's a great opportunity to really focus and nail what's important to us. What do we really care about? And to do that, you do have to sacrifice something.
What about you guys? Here, slightly shorter than us, but some good memories from the third floor?
Well, I moved in, I started last November, and the first thing that Randy said to me was we're moving next year, so don't get comfortable. I miss the brown floor. I miss sitting next to Peter.
That used to be white, it's just stains.
No, it's brown. I don't sit next to Peter anymore, I sit next to Mike.
We're still figuring that out.
We're still figuring that out.
It's a work in progress.
It's very bright.
It's super. I love
Very
that.
bright now, yeah. I guess I kind of missed the coming in the morning when it was dark and a little bit dingy, and it was I can be in this game cave, and now it's sort of this sterile white open. I agree with Jeff. We need to either smear crap all over the floor or break something or just.
Well, it's Payday Beers on Thursday, so Mike, you're the newest one, at least in terms of who's on the couch. So maybe you can just smash a bottle of patties.
Oh, I can break things.
Yeah.
Just say
Mike's
the word.
good at that.
Is there anything on this set that we don't need? No, I'm just kidding. This isn't our set.
No, this isn't our set. Sorry, Cena. Thank you so much for letting us use
I'm not going to break anything, I promise.
Don't break anything. If it is broken, though, it was definitely Mike Mahardy. Michael M. Mahardy. He's downstairs.
My middle name starts with an M as well.
Does it?
No.
Michael
Michael
Can we
Mahardy.
just get a close-up on the perp again? Just,
If you've seen this man.
It's Ruane, my middle name. We've talked about this.
Yeah, Ruane, yeah. That was like could you do the tilt there? That was almost Marcus Phoenix.
Business Mike
That
came
was
out.
very
Can you say Anya?
Anya.
There you go. Mike Mahardy.
Oh my God.
Marcus Phoenix.
Never
of
cut
all
away.
time. Yeah, that's it. Wonderful.
Amazing.
But yeah, I've been
I
here
feel
5 months.
threatened
I'm
now.
gonna.
That was too
I
good.
sort of miss the third floor,
Yeah,
but I'll
Sort of.
not as much as Pete or you or Alexa.
that's all right.
It's not a mismeasuring
Yeah,
contest.
there's no limit on him.
Pete one-up Brown over here, just trying. No, I'm just kidding.
Is that because he's one-upping us, or because he used to look?
It's a running
like
joke.
one-up?
He
I
always
used, to
just.
I used to work there, and my PSN name is P Brown 1UP, and I'm just.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So add him.
I love getting extra lives.
Anyway, this has been a long show, but we've got one more segment left. Our friends over at Duracell have challenged us to think about the games that we played the most in 2015. Those games that forced us to not go to the bathroom and get extra snacks, surround myself in Pringles and whatnot.
Pringles?
And then go to the bathroom in the Pringles.
Exactly, yeah. Cram more Duracell quantum batteries into your controller so you can keep on playing. And I got my 3 friends here, Alexa Ray Korea, Mike M. Mahardy, I'm going to go with, and Peter Brown to talk about the games that they played the most this year. I've also got a bunch of great input from you guys. Hashtag Duracell sweeps if you want to get the game you played the most in on the discussion. And stay tuned, because at the end of this segment, we're going to give you details on how to win the top 10 games that came out this year as decided by us. What are they? I don't know. Well, I do, but I don't know. I'm not telling you. Anyway, first up, before we get to the user suggestions, Alexa Ray Korea.
Hi.
First game, the game you played the most in 2015.
So I didn't play this game the most in terms of I would sit down and marathon it, but it was the game that I came back consistently to every day, Bloodborne.
Okay.
So when I had a crappy day, I would come home and I'd put in Bloodborne and I would kill some things. If I had a really bummer day, I'd go home and play Bloodborne. If I was angry at someone, I'd come home and I'd blow off
What
steam
about
playing
if you were
Bloodborne.
happy?
Yeah.
I'd come home and I'd play Bloodborne. I
Kill
played
a
it.
pig.
I played it, I finished it, and then I came back and I did a New Game Plus, and I have been playing it sort of a little bit, over the past couple months, and on a Friday night when all my friends are out partying and I'm an old person, so I like to be home in bed at 9 p.m. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make some tea and I'm gonna play Bloodborne.
Yeah.
So I just played Bloodborne for hours, and I sort of found I felt like I was improving as I was playing it, and it's the one game I played this year that really made me feel like I was accomplishing something, because I was just overcoming all of this gruesome, crappy beasts. So I sort of settled into it like a nice comfy couch.
Excellent. A
Yeah.
game that a lot of people in the office have enjoyed. Maybe it's in the top 10 games. Who knows? Well, we do, but we can't tell you. That'll be on GameSpot.com soon enough. Just going into the tweets here, here's a great one that I know a lot of people, I have to say this one because I know a lot of people, especially in production, are going to agree with this. John Gaudio says, the game I played the most this year was Destiny: The Taken King.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Rocket League.
Yeah,
No.
I was gonna say
Excuse
Rocket League.
my mockery.
Yeah, a lot of Destiny fans here in the office. Taken King obviously was a big thing for them as well. Really improved that game. Mike, you like those games, but that's not what you picked.
It's not what I picked.
What did you
I picked Afro Sen. No, sorry, The Witcher 3.
Oh.
I didn't until I read Kevin's review and I saw it getting really positive reviews across the board. I planned on playing it anyway, despite the fact that I didn't really play the first two.
Yeah.
But as soon as I got into it, it's unique fantasy setting and like it's got its own weird creatures. It's got its own very vivid world and like convincing characters. It was one of the first RPGs in a while I've played where I wasn't completing quests just for experience or new gear. I was completing quests just because I felt like they were worthwhile. And it told a great overarching story, and the main quest had, a great structure. You build up to this one point where everybody thought it was the end.
Yes.
But then there was like 8 hours after that.
And that was also a really good ending.
was-
like, super
yeah,
fun. Especially those
definitely.
last 2-3 hours are pretty crazy, right?
Definitely. But just all these like smaller side stories that you like on the periphery of the game itself that you come across, and these characters you meet, it ranges from like funny to really sad to really just kind of ominous at a lot of points. And I kept playing it because I went back in knowing there was something I was going to find that was just going to push me through another, half hour, hour and a half, 2 hours that I'm just really enjoying, despite the fact that I might not even be getting experience for it.
How many hours do you think you played?
I'd say I'd say in the 90s.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then Hearts of Stone came out, so I went back to
Yes.
play that, and then I played another like 10 hours of the game itself, and then now with Blood and Wine coming
Yeah, it's coming out next year.
which is double the size of Hearts of Stone, entirely new area. I'm sure I'll put at least another 30 into it at least.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Game that keeps on giving. Got some great tweets coming in here. Hashtag Duracell Sweeps. This might be my favorite so far. Gadget File says 569 hours and counting clicker heroes.
No way.
569.
It's like that cookie clicker, man.
No
It's like those
way.
clicker games. You just let them go. Just go on holidays. Go on vacation.
Clicker was great.
Let 'em
Does
still
that game
go.
tell you how many hours you played?
I'm sure it does.
Or it just has a timer?
Probably shouldn't, though.
No.
Yeah, I think Cookie Clicker did as well when I used to play that. Another one great here, Mama Bear Coach 68. Didn't get that 69. 3,000 hours in GTA 5. That seems a bit ridiculous.
No.
Did come out on PC this year, so technically
Yeah.
that counts. Peter Brown, what is the game you played the most?
That 3,000 hours.
I know, that's a bit. Wow. It's like those clicker games, man.
I think I put the most hours into Xenoblade Chronicles X because that's a very long game that I had to finish, but the game that I elected to play the most was The Phantom Pain. I think I played about 50 hours for the review. I've probably put in close to 80, I'd say at this point. I don't know. I feel like I'm always repeating myself when I talk about this game. The control you have over Snake, it's cumbersome at first because the controls are a little bit complicated. But once it clicks, it is like, it was surreal how smooth everything felt to me. Like, I didn't feel as much I was like controlling a video game character as I was willing him to do my bidding without much thought. Like, it felt so good to do all the things that he could do, and then like bring in all these vehicles, and the world, like 99% of it you can interact with in a way that is meaningful to how you approach a mission. But what really, really got me into the game was some of the amazing, like, I hate to say it, but the visuals,
Yeah.
the cinematography, the melodrama that came with the cutscenes. I mean, I'm going to play this game anyway, one, because I have to review it, but two, because I like Metal Gear. But it's astounding, like the opening to this game is and I hate to do it, but you compare it to something like The Witcher, the opening,
Yeah.
dude, I'll take a nap. Like, this thing was crazy, and it just kept on going with the story stuff. After the fact, I had all these great things to unlock. Everyone in the world has sort of adjusted to my strategies. They've gotten used to my tactics, so I have to adjust and constantly evolve to be effective. And the things I didn't unlock then became harder to unlock, and the game just kept challenging me in new ways.
It's always a good sign of a game where you want to repeat missions and see what it looks like a different way.
Yeah,
And although this game forces you sort of to do it later on in the game, like I certainly enjoyed doing that a lot when I was playing this. Like,
yeah, if you took yourself out of the linearity of the experience, you were just like, this is a stealth challenge, right? There's some really great stuff in there that it made you do.
this gameplay is great. Whoever's playing just is determined to carry this dude out of here.
Fulton or bus.
Fulton or GTFO. Another great game mentioned here. James Ackerman says Fallout 4 currently 210 hours.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's like how much I put into 3 total, I think.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
That's a game I feel like I'm going to be playing for a lot of 2016
Yeah.
as well.
I think I played that for like 70 hours as well.
Yeah. You reviewed a lot of long video games this year, Peter.
Yeah.
Xenoblade, Metal Gear, Fallout. Which is the only one you need to dive into over your Christmas break.
Yeah, I haven't played as much of that as I'd like.
And that's probably the game that I would pick in terms of time. I think I'm if I add up my Xbox One and PC, I think I'm around the 200 hours on Witcher now. I've played a boatload of that.
Gosh.
But since you already talked about it, I would have to go for Rocket League, just purely out of the fact that it's a game that we've played so much
Oh
in
my
the office.
God.
Like a game that we have made our best video this year about
Yeah,
as well.
seriously.
We played it so much in the office. Mary Kish, sick ass training
Poor
coach.
Jake.
Skip that part. It has a bunch of DLC stuff that they kept adding to it, so you kept wanting to come back. They just added the ice hockey stuff as well, I think, like yesterday. So the office is playing that. Like it's a game I've played here in the office, played at home with people, and also just online with randoms. Like it's a game that's just super fun to keep going back to. Over and over and over again. I wonder if it's going to be interesting because we've talked about a lot of games via the hashtag Duracell sweeps and also what we said here on the couch. It'll be interesting to see how many of those games made it into our top 10 list this year and what order they might be in as well. But no matter what the order, you have a chance of winning all 10 of what we have decided are the best games of 2015. Your platform of choice, unless we can't give it to you on, I was about to say something, God, that was so close. Unless it's not on a different platform, let's say. To do that, all you have to do is go to a link on GameSpot.com, which should hopefully, hey, you go, look at that, there it is. GameSpot.com/Duracell sweeps. Go in there, fill out a little form, and you have a chance to win what we decided were the top 10 games of 2015. And make sure you check back GameSpot all this week and next to find out what our top 25 list is as well. So the 14, 15 games that you won't get if you enter this competition. Folks, thanks for coming on today and talking about video games. Our last lobby of 2015.
I'm gonna miss this set so much.
Already
Remember
starting
that-
to smell like us.
Remember that time you were there and I was here?
And then you had to sit
You-
beside
they
mine.
were
there too.
You had that
Think about
really
it.
like cynical comment, and then I came back at you with a really dumb joke.
And then Mike mugged for the camera.
Remember that time I kept putting my laptop in Peter's single? Oh, there it is. Like,
There it is, Mike. There it is.
This is a thing now. I'm gonna do this across the office at everybody.
Oh, Jesus.
it's a beautiful thing. Somebody gift that. Give it to me. Private collection. Thanks so much to everyone who's watched the show as well over the course of 2015. We'll be back next year with an even better show. And thanks to everyone in production. As ever, Mary Kish, Josh Shaw, Eric Tay, Dan Mahorik,
And God.
and Ty, because he sometimes wanders in there and does stuff as well. And Warren Goff. Warren Dog. You were the man. Build us a beautiful set. And get well soon, Ty Root, because he's sick at the moment. We have an incubation at the moment.
Yeah, he's
do.
in a room
Yeah.
by himself, just
in a
locked
room.
in, working.
He's booked a meeting room all day.
No.
He's playing
Also,
quarantine.
don't go in that room tomorrow.
It's
either,
gonna smell like his
because
farts.
it's just going to be, and his diseased farts. So,
Ah.
he'll get fart disease. All right, we got a bunch more work to do because Game of the Year is still going crazy on GameSpot.com. So thanks so much for tuning into the lobby today, and all of the other weeks in 2015. We'll be back first week of February next year. Have a great New Year, happy holidays, and we'll see you on the other side. Adios.